So the topic of today is about it's about karma again. So we have had many classes on karma these days. You know, karma disease. What is karma? So it's the most important knowledge. Cái gì sao? Cái gì để giấy tờ này? So, um, so today we continue talking about the how karma manifested in your psyche, in your mind, as inner conflict. Because if you don't understand this, then the inner conflict all the time there, and it creates problem to you, and from that you make a wrong decision, and then you become stressed out, and then it's perpetuate the situation. So if you this inner conflict is not easy to identify. They are obscure. They are like many layer of the mind. Yeah, the mind, and the deepest layer is this inner karmic conflict. Okay, so you have to think about it a lot. It's not something that you can identify right away, but at least you have to know the existence of this deeper psychological conflict in your mind. If you cannot identify, then you need to get help. Okay, so this knowledge is based on Vedic astrology that understand. We have a beginner's course going on now that understand the karma, the science of karma. Okay, so karma is something that you bring into this life, and you do not know, because if you know, then it's, you don't have any problem. But most of the time you don't know, and it's something that you cannot escape, and something that can be resolved only when you have a self-awareness, and then you have shifted in your psychology so that it go into the deep root of the karma. So um, so there's and the way how to work out karma is always to use the four path of yoga, classical path of yoga, to change your attitude. Okay, you need to change your attitude. Then it worked out the deep psychological conflict. Okay, so there's 6 possible kind of karmic conflict. Okay, so number 1 is this conflict between yourself and others. So come down to that all the time. Always self and others. So you have to understand what is the self, what is others, and why there is conflict. And then you have the between the number 2 is seeking material security, something that you are seeking as a security, material security, and seeking the truth. What that means, all these are charged of meaning. Seeking the truth means seeking unknown, something that you do not know, you have no clue, but some kind of obscure idea that you have about higher knowledge. Yeah, so that is possible. So that is second kind of inner conflict. And the third is between self-will and God's will. I mean, in the idea of yourself and the idea of something bigger than yourself. And number 4 is the conflict between being somebody in society, yeah, have name and fame and work, yeah, contribution, and then at the same time, neglecting your heart. Okay, so that is another conflict between work and home. You say in a simple manner, between work and home. Okay, home means the heart. So the number 5 is between your inner achievement. Yeah, inner achievement means something that you gain, but internally nobody really sees it. Yeah, and the outer society material success. So something that it can be seen, okay, by society. Okay, inner achievement is only be seen by you because the soul knows, but outer material success, it can be seen by other people. So the number 6 kind of conflict is between the desire to improve your weakness or being victim to your weakness and losing yourself. Okay, so this is another conflict there. So for you who doesn't know yourself so well, then you might see, oh, I have this. Oh, I have this too. Oh, I have this too. I have so many conflicts. Maybe, yeah. But you need to identify uh, the key conflict. Because from the key conflict and plus the other one and so on, it creates your own particular karma in this life. So it's not that simple, okay? But like I said earlier, so remember, these are the baseline, the bottom line layer of conflict, yeah? Because conflict means um, duality, and conflict means duality, something that is not whole, is not complete. So you are not happy. At the bottom line, you are not happy. You might be doing everything and seem to be right. Yeah, but bottom line, something is nagging because you are not happy, you are not feeling whole, you're not feeling complete. And the goal of all the Vedic sciences is to find wholeness, to find yourself, to find the truth about yourself, to find oneness. So it's very important for you to understand your deep layer of inner conflict. Okay, the deep layer where you always feel split, it's never whole. Okay, and of course we talk about remedial, that means eventually there will be, you feel it, one day you feel it when it become one, when you overcome that duality finally, after a lot of struggle, yeah, and a lot of situations, a lot of experiences. One day you find it, oh, something is whole, yeah, and that day is a very big day. It's a very big day that you don't have that split, and you don't have that duality, and you don't have that inner nagging subconscious. When I say nagging, I hope they can translate the word. Nagging means something that is all the time there. Nya, 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 nya. A voice nya, 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 inside your mind, deep inside your mind. It's always there. Yeah, and it creates the whole inner conversation that you have. Yeah, that that is there going on. Okay, hopefully one day that voice will disappear. Yeah, it's possible if you are aware of it. Then it's possible for you to train yourself and work yourself out with the yoga practices and the yoga philosophy. You'll be able to become whole. Okay, then at that time you are free from that uh, inner conflict. Then other thing is there, of course, but it's not going to be that difficult. So this is the most difficult area of your life. So now we start with the conflict. Number one, the conflict between self and others. Okay? So everyone has this, but there will be something that is much more pronounced. Yeah. So there is two relate opposite issue. Related means it's connected, yeah, and it's opposite. Okay. So what is the karma? The karma is to discover that neither you nor others can be complete without the others. Okay? So the sense of ego, the sense of separation, the sense of differentness always create this conflict. But one beautiful day, then you discover that you cannot live without others. That you and others are the same, basically. You and others are the same. So that means the happiness of others and your own happiness is the same. One beautiful day, you will discover that. The only way to reconcile this inner split between you and others is to find the truth, the Atman, that is one without a second. So according to scriptures, they use that beautiful sentence, one without a second. What does that mean? There is no duality. Yeah. When you find a place where there is one without a second, you are liberated. You are free. You're happy forever and ever. Because there is no split. Yeah. There is no you. There is no others. Yeah. There is one without a second. Okay. So now, how these two things manifested? The conflict between self and others. The number one, when others are more. When others are more. So how it manifested? You feel sometimes that you spend too much time for others and not enough for yourself. So that's one of the signature there. You feel that others' needs are taken care of, but not yours. So number two, you feel like that. You feel that your life meaning is to fulfill desires of others. And next, you feel guilty when you take care of yourself. Next, you feel others are more important than you. So this is some of the way how it's manifested when you have that conflict and when others are more. Now the other side that is related, you cannot have one without the other, is when you are more. When you are more. When you are more, then you are selfish. I mean, you think about yourself only, and then people would say it's selfish. Self-centered, I mean, you only think of yourself. And self-motivated. You're motivated by your own motivation, not by other people's needs. Okay? So um, you feel that satisfaction of your own desires is the purpose of life. Okay? You discover that desires are insatiable. Yeah. So you think that if you satisfy your desire, then that's it. Life will be heaven. Yeah. But then the more that you do that, the more you satisfy your desire, yeah, the more other desires come. And then you can spend the whole life trying to satisfy your desire. It's never enough. It's never enough. Never enough. And never ending. And never ending. Yeah. Until one day you discover that that's not the way. Yeah. Desire is a sense of miss, a sense of need. Yeah. The that the sense of need cannot be fulfilled by external means. Okay, whatever you do, you cannot be fulfilled, and you can pull the blanket toward you. Yeah, as much as possible. Life has to serve you. Everything has to happen to you. Everything has to satisfy you, and then everyone is taking away from you. Yeah, you can do like this, but you eventually you realize that it's not true. Yeah, you can blame other people. Yeah, you don't feel that you are accepted, understood, and valued by other people, but it's not going to be the way to solve your problem. It's not possible. So that's the number one. So the class of today is only to identify the conflict. And I can say a little bit about what to do, but it's not meant to say what to do. Because a lot of things you can do, right?
You just give a path.
Yeah, a path. A
Karma
path. Yeah, Karma Yoga is a good path, Swamiji say. Yeah, it's mean you put other people's first. For the those who are, when you feel that you are more, then you need to put other people's first. Yeah, then somehow it will work out. Hmm. But when the others are more, then you have to learn to put yourself at the same time with other people. You have to do karma yoga to yourself. You know? That's the thing. You know, the other day, I talked to Ayurvedic doctor, just to see why I'm coughing at night. Yeah, and he said, okay, you have to go do your blood test so that I can check. So then I asked Swami Adi Parashakti to bring me to the lab, to do the blood test. And so here we are very busy. In Ashram, we are very busy. We have a very big conference coming up. And Swami Adi Parashakti is all the time very busy. And then this day, he has to drive me to the lab, and he was resenting. He said, I didn't have time to do my asanas. And if I don't do my asanas and my pranayama, I cannot serve. I cannot do anything. I cannot think. Now I have to drive you. Then in my mind, I was thinking, oh my God, the whole time I never took care of myself. And this is, by the intervention of somebody, yeah, Durga, basically in India, arranged that appointment with me, and I had to do this. And then I encountered the big problem is somebody that is not supporting me to do the thing for myself. You see, so then, this is going on. So that I'm very calmly say to him, yeah, thank you very much for driving me. I really appreciate it. Instead of resentment. So then you have to say, okay. And then it's all worked out, and then it's good. So this drive is not a burden. So you get the time to talk about other things and so on. But it can be like this. Yeah. So you forget your own need. You forget your own need 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, 100 times. And then when you ask for your need 1 time, then it'll be refused. So then you say, oh, no. You see? Or other thing, opposite position is that you take care of your need 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, 100 times. Always me, go first. And when somebody asks you, please do something for me, you say, why you take my time? You see? It can happen also. Exact opposite. But all of these things, you have to understand, it creates a deeper problem to your life. Yeah. You are not going to progress in life. You're going to go around and round and round and turn in circle. Yeah. In yoga, we said you'll be reborn again and again and again. Yeah. Because you would not be able to progress in life if you don't understand your deep inner conflict, okay, and find the proper remedy to deal with your particular psychological bent of mind. So now that's that number one. Yeah, is hopefully it's you have an idea. Yeah, self and others issue. Okay. The number two, the six. Remember. So the number two is seeking material security or seeking truth. Yeah. So this is something that you have to think. Yeah, because you're seeking truth means you seek the something that you have no clue. Yeah, you have some inclination to understand that there's something more than this life, but it's so obscure, it's so vague. Yeah, and when you get dissatisfied with this life and you seek that, but you at the same time you feel that you are wasting your time. Yeah, and seeking material security, making sure that you have enough money in the bank, enough support, material support, always is something that is more prevalent. So let's say that you have a conflict between time to take care of yourself spiritually, doing asanas, pranayama, meditation. Then you say, oh no, I need to go and find work. I need to go and go to the bank. I need to purchase a bigger house, a nicer furniture, yeah, or something like this. So it becomes something that you spend a lot of time to do. Yeah, buying furniture. I spend just a few hours now. Furniture of Vietnam. Buying furniture and then painting the house and buying a new car and then find a different job in order to get the money to buy the new car. This become important for you. But taking the time to meditate, sit close eyes and do breathing exercise and then thinking about the purpose of life, all this you think is a waste of time. But at the same time, you understand this karmic conflict is you cannot avoid. Yeah, you cannot avoid the the seeking for the truth. The more that it pulls the blanket, like I say, pulling the blanket, the more the blanket is pulled over material security, yeah, the more a nagging sense of something you're missing out your life is there all the time in your mind. So you cannot live, you cannot satisfy the material need, yeah, ever, because it's you always feel something missing. But if let's say you can calm down your material need, the sense of security, and then you go to the taking the time to do your spiritual search, yeah, and then there will be the other voice that say, oh, but I don't take care of my bills, I don't take care of my livelihood, I don't take care of my physical security, yeah. But you will see that neither one, neither other will satisfy you. This is what you need to understand, yeah. Because if you can just go, you can go do 2 jobs, 3 jobs, buy a car, buy a house, put money in the bank. It's not going to be satisfying. You are not going to be satisfied, yeah. Or if you can go and you meditate and you meditate and you meditate, but at the same time you are not caring about um, the the physical aspect of life, you see that it will not be okay, because it comes from an inner unresolved conflict. So you have to learn how to do this, and it's the most difficult thing to do, how to resolve the outer and inner conflict, yeah, which I can talk about that another day. Not possible today, yeah. But you have to recognize when the conflict show up. So number three, you need to tell me the time when I need to stop. The number three is the conflict between self-will and God's will. Okay, well, what that means. That means you have the idea, yeah, that you like to take initiative. You like to do things on your own. You like to push forward in order for you to be successful in life and to satisfy your desire for action. You need to go places where no one has gone before. Yeah. And then, so that is one tendency. You need to be brave. You need to be self-centered. Um, you need to be independent. So there is that one desire. Yeah. And then the other desire is you feel that the more that you pull the blanket toward you, yeah, do only the things that you like, taking initiative how much as you want, that you always encounter some obstacles. Yeah, something that doesn't work out. You can pull the blanket, you can work so hard, you can take all kinds of initiative and do things in order to be successful, and it doesn't work out. There is obstacles in the way, and it doesn't work out. And then you eventually have to understand, oh, there is something called God's will. God's will means a bigger picture that I don't see. If I don't compose with that bigger picture, then it never would be working. No much effort, self-effort that I put is not going to work. Yeah. So then you have to slow down. You have to become humble. Yeah. So you have to become more listening to God's will. Yeah. Because you know eventually that you know it's a waste of my time. I put so much energy and things don't work out anyway. So I better just at the same time put energy, at the same time also listening, at the same time put energy, at the same time listening. I have to learn to listen. Okay? And those who are listening, and try to listen and don't do anything. they don't they don't take any initiative and they don't do anything, and that also is not going to work out. Yeah. So then you have to learn how to do both. How to follow your self-effort, self-will, and at the same time, God's will. So in yoga is a famous formula. It is said uh, effort and relaxation. Yeah, when you learn asana, yeah, they say effort and relaxation. How in every posture that you do, you have to put the effort and you have to relax at the same time. So that's why it's very good to take asana class with a teacher, because you have to listen to the teacher and the rhythm of the group. It's called self-will, God's will. Because you finish that posture, you don't like that posture, you want to move to another posture, and the teacher is still there, making hold the posture, and you have to, because you are in class, you're supposed to listen to the teacher. So then you have to wait, you have to breathe, you have to stay with the posture, and then the teacher finally move. Okay, so you have to do both. You have to at the same time follow your own. But if the person say in a class, they follow all the time their own rhythm, they do their own class, then the teacher will come to them and say, if you do only your own thing, please leave my class. The teacher will say that, because you don't need a teacher, you are doing your own rhythm, your own thing. So then leave the class. Then you lose the community kind of feeling, which is called the God's will. Okay, so the difference is between your will, follow only your rhythm, my schedule, my speed, my desires, and follow the God's will. That means be in a community, be in a spiritual company. Yeah, the spiritual company. How do you get spiritual company? You don't get spiritual company if you only deal with yourself. Yeah, your egoistic idea, you don't have spiritual company. So to have spiritual company, you have to slow down the ego. Yeah, you have to tune into the company. Yeah, and knowing that you, by doing that, you are not losing anything. actually you're gaining something. You enrich your life more than you can think. Okay? So you have to learn to surrender and to accept. So the key is, yeah, surrender and accept, to conform also to a larger picture than your own idea and your own will. So you have to be ready to receive guidance. You see? So if you are very much into mind, and your own idea, then you are not open to guidance. Anybody that says something that is different than your own idea, then you reject them. Okay? So if you want God's will, you have to be ready to receive guidance. You have to learn to consult. You see, this is not easy, because if you think that you know, you will not never consult. Yeah. If you think that you are independent, you will never report. You never report what you do, because you think I do this and that's sufficient. If I do what I want, that's sufficient. Why I have to report to anybody? You see. But if you understand that it's not going to work, yeah, that attitude is not going to work. You would make 3 steps and you would step back 10 steps. So you have to be wise, and you have to say, okay, so I'm going to report, and I'm going to work in tandem, in harmony with others. I'm going to consult. I'm going to slow down, and slowing down is not a bad thing. Slowing down is actually allowing that I would go in tune, yeah, with other people. Yeah. You imagine it's like singing, kirtan, singing, group singing. If you go ahead, and sometimes it's like this, there are people that sing by themselves. They like it singing, but they sing by themselves. It's very loud, and they are on the same tune, their own tune, and they don't listen to other people. So then it's like they lead the group chanting, but they're not a leader, so therefore they will be in contradiction with the leader, and they don't even know that they create the disharmony. You see? So then they have to learn to slow down and to open to advice. Yeah, to be open to advice. Yeah, and that is difficult for a person that is have too much self-will. They don't open to advice. Okay, so next is the conflict between the public life and the private life. The public life means your place in society. Yeah? Private life is your heart. Yeah? Your heart is a life in itself. Right? I mean, you feel your heart, or you want people to recognize who you are. You see, the two different things, and the two different things actually work together. Yeah, one work with the other. So you always will have the idea that I want to be somebody, yeah, and then your heart say, you know, you need to listen to me. You need to listen to me. You need to be happy, yeah, and you say, no, 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 I need to have recognition, yeah, and then you do things for recognition, okay, and then you neglect your heart, okay? And the other opposite related issue is you follow your heart, okay, you make yourself happy, yeah, but you don't care about um, society or contribution to others, yeah. So that is a problem. So then you have to have both. Again, to reconcile, you have to have both, and then you have to know how to do it, and it will not be today. There's a lot of work there. Okay, so you have to be able to contribute, yeah, and be very peaceful with your contribution, either a lot or not enough according to you. Some people have the bent of mind that is never enough, never enough, never enough, never enough. I need to contribute more, 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 more. never enough. Yeah, when a person do a little bit, say enough, enough. You know, so I need to live my inner life. Yeah, it's enough. You know, society doesn't exist. Yeah, so that's the problem. Okay, there will be both, and you have to reconcile both. It's a lot of problem here. Okay, I can elaborate, but that's enough. So number 5 is called the conflict. The sun come out. It's beautiful. So the conflict between inner achievement and outer society material success. So it sounds like we already talked about this, but this is very specific. What that means? That means you come to this life not blank. You come to this life because you have already evolved spiritually some sometime since long time, and you already have achieved something spiritually. You already grow. You already become a good person. You already achieve something, yeah, in terms of evolution. Okay, and then when you live this life with its particular kind of karma, then you might forget, your past. You might forget your evolution from the past. Yeah, and it meant to be like this. But at the same time, if you don't listen to your past, yeah, and you can say build up from your wisdom from the past, yeah, then also it doesn't work. Okay, you have to build up from the wisdom of the past, yeah, but at the same time you have to make progress in this life. You see the conflict there, yeah. So you have to follow your inner achievement. Inner, remember the word inner. It's not an outer achievement. Inner achievement, yeah, that is based on past life degree of wisdom. Okay, coming from the merits of past life. Okay, so when you do something in life, you get a merit. You get some point, some points, some kind of progress. Okay, so and it's there. We call it punya. Yeah, punya. I mean some kind of merit that you had. Okay, you also can have from your past life. You have demerit. Demerit. I mean you do negative things. So usually we say karma. Yeah, you do demerit, and then in this life you will have to pay back the debts. Yeah, by doing more merits in order to pay back the demerits of past. Okay, so in that context, that this life is only part of the chain of life that you have been, the person is enjoying the result of past good karma. Yeah, so then at that time they are very rich. When they enjoy the result of past good karma, they are a very rich person, and they become very creative because they have something to enjoy. Yeah, they become creative, they become refined, you know, because they are not gross. They already elevate themselves a lot. You see, so they become refined, they become intelligent. Yeah, so they're not only the lower level of mind, but the higher level of mind, the top cream of the mind. They become intelligent and they become spiritually educated. Yeah, they're easy for them to understand the big picture of the spiritual education. Okay, so that is one side. But society material success comes from the karma of the present. But when you are born and you live in the society, yeah, you have to um, be successful in this life yeah, which is the karma that is the result of the past. Also, both are the result of the past. So sometimes you have this material success, yeah, that is also based on your past merits, um, and then um, you completely disassociate. So this is where the real conflict is. Is you have this success externally, materially, and you have this success from past life, internally, spiritually, and you have to reconcile them both. And this is the idea. Okay, so if you follow only the spiritual success, yeah, and you don't you or the material success, and then you don't realize the base of the material success is based on the spiritual success. The material success that you enjoy now, yeah, is some kind of um, result of your past spiritual success. Okay, and you have to do both. You have to do at the same time continue with your spiritual success, your spiritual evolution. Yeah, at the same time live this life materially, yeah, and try to be successful without neglecting your inner achievement. Okay, so don't forget and think of material achievement for its own sake. Material achievement for its own sake is not sufficient. Yeah, so you have to remember that the material achievement is also some kind of a result from the past, yeah, and it's linked intricately linked with the spirit. Okay, so the last one. So the conflict between improving your weakness. Okay, everyone has weakness, either you identify or not. Okay, improving your weakness or don't care about improving your weakness. So be victim to your weakness and losing yourself. So there is it's a big issue. Okay. So the dilemma is to improve from your own weakness and limitation. Weakness means limitation. Okay. And not being aware of it and indulge in it, losing yourself in the process. Okay. Because nobody, that's Swami Vishnudevanji said, nobody find any weakness in yourself. Yeah, you'll find plenty of weakness in other people. This person is this person is this person is this. But when you look at yourself, oh, I'm perfect. If only they could be more like me. Yeah. Or if other people can be like me. You see, so that's a problem. Okay. So you have past tendencies that come from past. Yeah. For example, the tendency toward violence. Yeah. Toward impatience. The Pitta people is called the dosha. That means the imperfection that come from fire, too much fire. Yeah? So you all the time easy to get irritated, easy to condemn, easy to judge, easy to say rough words to other people, rough thoughts to other people, and fight with other people. So you have to be recognizing that this is a karmic tendency. Okay. And then you have, this is, according to yoga, it line out all these weaknesses. Yeah. So the number one is ahimsa, violence. Yeah. Number two, lack of truthfulness. Yeah. Lack of truthfulness means honesty toward yourself and others. So if all your life and past life, you all the time playing game, yeah, thinking that you win by playing game, by winning society, yeah, and have some success, but not really by looking at yourself truly. What is the purpose of goal in life? Is to be free from, suffering, and then and then do the practices in order to be free from suffering. Yeah. If you play that game all the time, then you continue to play game. Yeah, by being dishonest, yeah, of yourself with yourself, acting out. As far as people approbation, people get, you are somebody, and you feel so good. Yeah. So lack of honesty and truthfulness, that can be a weakness. Okay. And you can see in some cases, yeah, people buy into this. The rich and famous, the actor and the actors, they can buy into this people adoration. Yeah. And then they have to play the game. The more the people adore them, the better it is. And the more that they make the hair blue or something to play to people adoration and entertain people. And you see that these people are very unhappy. Okay. So lack of truthfulness with yourself and with others. And then the disposition to be envious, the disposition to be jealous. You have this trait of character. And then, the trait of character of rejection of discipline and indulgence in sensual pleasure, in accumulation of material objects. So you have this. Okay. So everything that I mentioned, please take some time and think about it. Don't just discard it and say, I'm not like that. No, you don't know who you are. Yeah, because it's always subconscious. You don't know, but it's there. Okay, so take the time to think about this, because these are your weaknesses. Okay, so in order to do that, then you have to do purification. Yeah, purification is yoga practices, and austerity. That means, withdraw and go back to basic. Contentment. That means count your blessing, everything you got already. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gratefulness, gratefulness, gratefulness. Instead of, what do I need? What do I need today? I need this more. I need this more. I need this more. Instead of like this, oh, I have it already. So thank you very much to give me this, and enjoy what you have. And continuously do self-observance. Yeah, recognize what your mind is thinking. Do self-study. And last is develop the capacity to self-surrender. Yeah, that means don't yield to your weakness. Your weakness always pull you. Yeah, the world is under your feet. Your weakness, actually your mind, is pulling you and by the nose, and you think that you are actually govern life. You are not. You are victim to your own mind and to your weakness. Okay, and you want the world to follow you, right? How you say that? You just said something. Why they are not like me?
Yeah, why is it like me?
So why they're not like me?
If only everyone could be
If
like me.
everyone, if only everyone can be like me, then the world will be so beautiful. Oh my God. You realize? So knowing that these practices are helpful, and yet many individuals keep indulging in the low mind. I mean, in your habitual mind. Okay? Because you don't know what is called low mind. Yeah. But anything that is from the past that you are not aware of is called the low mind. That means you are walking on the footstep of the past that will continue to bind you. Okay? So that is at every step. What you think that you are strong, I am somebody, you are strong, is nothing else that this long rope that is tying you. Being aware of that, you start to stop saying that I'm strong on something. You start to be very careful, not to think that I am strong in anything. But then you say, by God's will. Yeah, today this can happen by God's will. Yeah, instead of, today I'm going to pull things on my way, I'll make things follow my goal, and everything else is somebody else's fault. Yeah, the world will be alive, or the world will be broken. Yeah, because of the fault of somebody. Yeah, but it is that always it's your own vision of yourself. It's not the fault of anybody. So then, if you don't follow this path of strengthening your weakness, and you keep indulging in your past tendency, then you would have sickness and disease. You will suffer from isolation, confinement at that time. Okay, don't blame. You will have enemies. You fight with other people. People don't like you, and you have the list of enemies, people that don't like you, and you can discard that. Yeah, you can disregard that. I don't care. You see, but it's a big problem there. And then you have debts. You know, because you are not controlling your mind. That's under the pretext of false freedom. I mean, you think that, you know, I'm free to do what I want. Okay? But you are basically free to indulge in your weakness. Okay? But once you don't recognize that, then it's a big problem. Okay, so that's enough today. So basically, the 5 points of yoga lifestyle, the 4 paths of yoga, and yoga life is the best remedial to all this deep inner conflict. We will talk about that another time. And we have to learn to counsel ourselves and counsel others. Yeah, and find the peace of mind and the detachment necessary, and continue the conscious practices of yoga sadhana, and continue the practices of awareness. Okay, and then you can learn yoga, teach you how to match your weaknesses with the classical yoga path, and then you will uh, progress. So somebody say something here. Everyone is a mirror. Okay. Okay. So um so thank you for being here. Yeah, hopefully that it gave you some insight, yeah, into your own mind, and you know and slowly you can work out um, the way how you're going to solve the inner conflict. But to just summarize, if you lead a yoga life and you apply integrally the teaching of yoga, the 4 path of yoga, then it covers everything. It covers basically everything. That means you have to see the self in others. You have to serve the self in others. You have to love the self, in yourself and in others. You have to slow down your mind, so then keep the mind positive by the yoga practices. And you have to do self-inquiry, question yourself, who am I? Okay? So now, just for you to know that today we start a program we call here Labor Day. Um, It's about Vedic sciences, about self-knowledge, and you can you can go online. Huh? You need to have translator. So you have to organize if the translator can look at the schedule online and decide which time slot you can translate. Then you can communicate with Swami Adi Pasakti. Priya has the information. Then we can broadcast the information to you, and you need to contribute monetary, financially to this conference, because we have these special guest teachers coming. Me, I'm free. You know, my satsang is free. But other people's satsang or teaching is different. Okay, and it's good for you to contribute to give to the ashram and not expecting everything fall in heaven and in your mouth. Hari Om Tat Sat. So thank you very much. So now we finish with the prayer Om Triambakam, which is the prayer for peace and liberation for all. Om